Welcome back to the Ohio Podcast Show. I'm the delicious Dickalicious. I'm here with Rob Dog. We just got doing 2 fucking 8 balls of fucking booger sugar. We don't know what the fuck's going on.
No, we do not.
When it snows in your nose, it rains in your brain.
That was a good one.
Are you familiar with the booger sugar?
I am.
I called my friend the other day.
Not personally, but...
He listens to the Ohio Podcast Show. His name's Charlie. We went to school with him.
Yeah.
He's a fucking Nancy. And he said something about booger sugar. And I said, that's mine now. I said, you tell me about that booger sugar. Is that like cocaine? He said, yes, it is cocaine. But we call it booger sugar because it's the sweetness and your geekness that goes up in your nose. Gets you all high and excited. People may not believe this about me, but I'm not an avid drug user.
Neither am I.
I've never experienced these things before.
No.
We did fucking bring back Zima again, though, Rob.
Hey.
We got all kinds of Snapchats this week.
I know, a bunch of tags.
On our username at Ohio Podcast on Snapchat.
Plug.
People, they're sending us all kinds of pictures of fucking Zima.
It's crazy, man.
And the only way to drink Zima is to take it and shove it straight in your fucking ass. Zima's not powerful enough to take it in your mouth and get drunk off. To get where you need to be, you got to break that beautiful little blue and black top. There's some ribs on the neck, so it makes it feel a little bit better.
Yeah, you got to get it right past your ring of fire.
And you got to corkscrew it in there.
It's going to hurt for a minute, and once you get it past there, though, it's going to be good.
Right. Squeeze it right past your balloon knot.
Do a handstand.
Straight into the chute.
And just relax.
If this is your first time listening to the Ohio Podcast Show, please be advised this is a rated G operation.
Yeah.
If your kids are in the room, keep them there. Give them some Benadryl, put them to sleep, because they're not going to want to fucking hear this shit.
Best part about drinking and getting drunk with your ass also is that you do not throw up, because it doesn't get processed the same way.
Oh my God. That's an emotional overload.
There you go.
Right now. Because, you
can't say you never learn anything.
The Bros of Ohio, we're famous for waffle stomping. We're famous for butt chugging. We do it all here in the laboratory.
Hang out with ghosts.
In the Beat Laboratory.
Yeah, we do.
Sometimes we hang out with Bill Wilkins. And I do think Bill Wilkins might show up today.
He might. This is a juicy episode.
And just a little nugget, a little secret. Bill Wilkins is the code word to get into the closed group.
Oh, you did it.
I did it.
You did it.
I think it's too far gone at this point.
I would say so.
If you come into our closed group.
We still get people that don't answer it.
Yeah.
Come on.
If you come into our closed group, don't report people for bad pictures.
Yeah.
Because that's fucking stupid.
Or bye-bye to you.
We'll kill you.
We don't put up with no narcs.
We're going to get killed after this episode. Talking about the Bohemian Rhapsody. The Bohemian Bobcat.
Oh, Freddie.
Rob, you ever seen a Bohemian Bobcat before?
Nope.
You go pet them and they roll straight onto their back, flip their nuts out, just shake them around like the little Planters Peanut Man to start dancing their little nuts around.
I love that, dude.
This is the Bohemian Grove episode.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
It's pretty deep.
It's very deep. Just like all the prostates at the Bohemian Grove. It's all...
Hi-yo.
Yeah. Rob, what makes this episode possible?
Our patrons.
Right. And we want to say thank you to our new Patreon subscribers.
Thank you, guys.
Starting with Dave Diggs. Thank you, Dave's Dick. Thank you so much, Dave's Dick.
Thank you very much. Then we got, oh God, I'm going to fuck this name up. I'm sorry, Miss
Carrie.
Carrie Fedora. Fedora. Thank you, Miss Fedora.
Carrie, we love you. All right.
You. Even though we can't pronounce your last name. But we fuck everything up here anyway, so.
Next is Dick Hunter Thornton. They call him Mr. Dick Hunter for short. And we love Hunter. He is one of the co-hosts of Murder and Such.
Yeah, we met them not too long ago.
You can check out their podcast. They're talking about true crime, all kinds of fucked up shit. Now, it is very honorable that Hunter runs his own podcast, and he decided to be a Patreon pledger to us.
Thank you.
That's very humbling.
Very great. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Hunter.
Last but not least, we have Taylor Mink, or Minky.
Well, just like a Winky, but a Minky.
Thank you very much.
Cool thing about Taylor is I don't know if Taylor's a he or a she. I didn't officially look it up. I'm not going to assume
Don't assume any gender.
Taylor signed up for the $10 club in Patreon.
Hey.
The $10 club, that guarantees we will call you in our Patreon episode. Yeah, we will call you, we'll chat with you, just like we did with Rachel. She's from Ohio, too.
Yep.
She talked to us about her rats, about putting them in people's asses at swingers clubs.
Mm-hmm.
That seems like a pretty cool traveling show to do.
That's what we do.
Rob, I got an article for you.
Okay.
All right, I'm gonna put it on you.
Put it on me, baby.
You shouldn't say put it on me before I read this article. It gets a little. Jurors in a Brooklyn corrections officer sexual assault trial appear to be sick of hearing about his huge, stinky penis.
Oh.
Smells like Bigfoot's dick.
All right, Rob. You see what I did there?
I see that.
It's huge, stinky penis.
Yeah.
The jurors were visibly gloom. Sorry. Someone will call me and tell me I fucking pronounced that wrong.
I think it's glum.
Yeah. And in some cases, exasperated Wednesday as prosecutors continued a second day of grilling accusers on the shape and odor of Lieutenant Eugenio Perez's phallus, which the Fed says is so distinctive it helped them confirm the women's stories. It was so big, I wanted to throw up. A 50-year-old Jesus Christ. A 50-year-old former inmate testified through a translator while explaining how Perez forced her to perform oral sex on him while he was working at the Metropolitan Detention Center in 2016.
It's such a backhanded compliment.
It had a smell like he didn't wash or take a shower. It was a really strong smell. A look of disgust came over the female juror's face and she shook her head. But the prosecutors continued to quiz the woman about his putrid pecker in painstaking detail. Can you describe what Lieutenant Perez's penis looked like? Assistant U.S. Attorney Nadia Shahada asked later on. It's big and fat. The woman dubbed Jane Doe 3 in the trial responded.
Jane Doe 3, so there's two others at least.
There's a few dead ones from. The juror then appeared to reach the end of the tether, pinching the bridge of her nose, rolling her eyes, and placing her forehead in her other hand. But Shihada went on asking Jane Doe if she noticed anything about his penis skin when he masturbated. When it moved forward, there was a little piece hanging off. Jesus.
Oh, man.
She responded in court papers. Prosecutor says 3 of Perez's 5 accusers gave matching descriptions of his unusual member, and they were able to get his first-hand confirmation via a search warrant ordering him to drop his pants. On this first day of the trial, another alleged victim was also asked to describe the distinctive appendage. He wasn't circumcised. It was big, and it was like a hook. It was humongous and curved, the 38-year-old woman told the court. If it didn't stink, I would have been all over that shit. See, now
I want to be that criminal sketch artist.
She's a trooper right there. She knows how to, that's a big one. I'll hop right on that thing.
I feel like I've drawn so many dicks over the years that I feel like I could be really good at that.
I concur. And more specifically, I think I could draw this one without seeing it.
Oh, dude, I know that sounds great.
Just the fact.
Just a big hook dick.
Now my question is, why would someone's wiener just stink? You know? Why would your
hairy balls, man.
Yeah, we talked
about that.
Talked about that in the closed group.
Yeah, we did.
I think that pubic hair traps smells.
Mm-hmm.
And in return, that turns into really stinky balls.
But if it gives you a huge fat penis, too.
Yeah. He's like, I ain't got to wash my fucking balls. Look how big my goddamn dick is. Look how big this wiener is. I'll put a goddamn tube sock on this thing, keep it blindfolded so it don't kill nobody. This motherfucker's a viper.
Good for him.
Good job, Mr. Eugenio.
Take the good with the bad.
Mr. Perez, if you are listening to the Ohio Podcast Show, send us a picture and show us how big your dick is. Anyone else that wants to send us your dick picture, reach out on Snapchat at Ohio Podcast. Send it. We'll check it out. We'll rate it 1 to 5.
Yeah, that's good.
And then we'll report back to you guys.
www.ratemydick.com.
Yes, you're onto something there.
There you go.
And last week, I said, hey, are there any witches out there that possibly have ever had sex? We had a great response.
God bless witches.
From witches. They sent us their stories about how, yes, they do partake in the dick, and they like it. The witches like to have sex.
I would assume that they would.
They like that witch dick. Mm-hmm. Somebody's witch dick. Some of that witch titty. Sometimes it gets colder than a witch's titty outside. Are you familiar?
Yeah, I mean, I know the saying. I've never really understood that. Okay.
I don't know either.
I wouldn't assume a witch's titty would be cold.
If you are a witch and you're a listener of the Brohio Podcast
if you will let us feel your titty.
I will not agree to that. This is a public forum. I'm a married man. I will not agree to that. But I would like to know if you're...
I'll let my wife feel it. How about that?
Yeah. If you have a exceptionally cold nipples, write us and let us know why. Tell us what's going on. We'll help you get through it.
We'll walk you through it.
Right. I'm so sorry about all this.
So stupid.
So my question for you, Rob, is if you saw a dick that big, would you be all over it like the said 38-year-old witness?
I feel like I would have to be. I owe it to that dick.
Now, you usually take about 15 minutes in the beginning. We're at 10 minutes.
Okay.
So I'm going to share with you a huge dick story from the prison.
Okay, I'm down.
All right. So I used to work in the visit room, which is where the inmates would come and visit their family members.
Yeah.
This is a state facility. These guys are incarcerated for life, for 20 years. This is long sentences.
Okay.
And one of the things, part of the visit room, is there's a guy that works the desk that lets the visitors come in, and there's a guy in the shakedown room that lets the inmates come in. And when the inmates come in the shakedown room, we get them naked. We strip search them.
Okay.
You'd have to look under their sack. You have to look, make them open their mouths, make sure they weren't bringing any weapons into the visit room to harm their visitors.
Okay.
And one time, this fellow came in, and the size of his penis was, I'll just start from the beginning. I said, cocks and socks, motherfucker, time to get naked. I got to check you out. And he got completely disrobed, but he kept his hand over his penis the entire time. Now, despite what you people think, I don't like to look at dicks that much. I mean, I will if need be.
Yeah, if it's a majestic dick,
I'll check a dick out.
Yeah.
But part of my job was the safety of these visitors, so I had to they have to squat and cough, and they have to lift their sack, because a good place to hide contraband is underneath their scrotum.
Yep, right by your taint.
And I said, hey, you got to let go of your dick. You got to show me if you're hiding anything down there. And he just said, no. And I said, if you don't fucking lift your balls and let go of your dick, I'm going to fucking fight you right now. And this isn't like a younger dude, maybe 18 or 19. He was not old at all. And he was just like, oh. And I swear to God, he let go of his dick, and it unraveled like a fucking garden hose all the way to the, just like, and like smacked, like this thing swung down. Like those, you see in like an office when people have those balls, they let go like back and forth, to swing back and forth and hit one another.
Yeah,
it just swung out like a goddamn, it was a meat hook. It was the most terrifying thing ever. Now,
for him.
the guy, and I was like, when I saw it, I could, usually if I see something that shocks me, I'm like, God damn! But when I saw this, I gasped like, like, I don't know why you wouldn't. If I had something like that,
I wouldn't wear pants.
There would be no putting it up. I would say, hey, you want to see this thing? I'm telling you, terrifyingly, it was flaccid, and it looked every bit of 11 to 12 inches. Just sitting there like a chorizo or a fucking summer sausage. So naturally, I went back out into the visit room, and when it was time for him to go back to general population, you have to strip search him again to make sure they didn't get any contraband during the visit.
Yeah.
And I told the guy I worked with, he was an older black gentleman that had been recruited and briefly played in the NFL. Fucking huge guy, like 6'3", 275, jacked to the gills, just a big fucking guy. And I said, hey, man, do you think you could strip search him on the way out? He gave me a really hard time coming in. He's like, yeah, bro, I got you. Because he was about it. He just always wanted to get that work, And he went in the visit room, and he came back out. This fucking guy looked like he'd seen the fucking Queen of England or a fucking ghost. I don't know.
You saw Bill
He
Wilkins?
was terrified. Yeah, he looked like he saw Bill. And I said, what's wrong? He said, that was the biggest goddamn dick I ever seen in my motherfucking life. And I said, I fucking know, dude. That's why I made you lay on that grenade and go back in there. He said, I ain't even know how a woman gonna fit into put that goddamn thing up inside her. I said, I didn't ask him about that, but that was the biggest dick I've ever seen in my life, Rob.
I guess it's kind of a, it says a lot about him if he was that shy about it.
Maybe. He was young. Maybe he'd never even had sex before. 18, 19-year-old doing a life sentence.
That's crazy.
See, it could be worse than sitting in this fucking basement talking to me.
I guess it could be. Could have a huge dick and in jail.
And speaking of huge dicks, we're going to tell you guys about the Bohemian Grove.
Oh, hey, yeah.
There are no huge dicks
I
there.
don't know about anything about huge dicks here, but
All right. We're going to start with, we stretched that out to 15 minutes.
Yeah, not too bad.
People don't like a lot of shit in the beginning, but fuck you.
No.
Fast forward, you miss all the good shit. The Bohemian Grove, it's located about an hour and a half from San Francisco. It is a campground resort in the California redwoods. Now, that's some big wood right there.
Oh, yeah.
And the currently, the resort, it's like a resort / campground
Forest
/ banquet. It serves so many different purposes.
Yeah, it's a huge, huge place.
But it is 2,700. That's 2,700 acres of land.
Ooh.
And for you people that like to pick on me after the episodes, yes, I did get some of this information from Wikipedia, but not a lot of it. All right.
No.
The Bohemians, you may wonder, until I researched this topic, I did not know what a Bohemian was. I just thought Bohemian was a very fancy name for a Queen song.
Right.
And when people ask me what is the greatest song of all time, I usually say Bohemian Rhapsody, not Photograph by Nickelback. Not anymore. Bohemian, they are people, they're individuals that are into different styles of art and theater. They kind of march to the beat of their own drum. They're not necessarily into the mainstream stuff. Now, Bohemians is not a word that is used widely today. I think we say things like hipster,
yeah,
vegan. I don't understand why people get upset about people being vegans.
I don't either. I eat meat. I don't care what the fuck you do.
I eat meat and I eat pussy. If you ain't
meaty pussies,
if you ain't into either one of those, then you ain't gonna be friends with the delicious Nickalicious.
No, I don't care. The only time I ever have a problem is when somebody tries to shame other people for doing what they do.
Yeah, that's kind of like religion too, man.
Right.
I like Satan, and I think Jesus is probably a good guy.
Hey, I'd party with both of them.
And if you got really sick tomorrow, I would fucking pray to God for you, Rob.
Good.
And I would pray to Satan. I don't know what would work, but I would try all of them. I think at this point,
might as well.
We've probably did a lot of favors for Satan at this point.
I would say so, yeah.
I think we've converted a lot of people.
Yeah.
I think I would probably start with praying to Satan just to see if I could get anything done right away.
Yeah.
Like, dear Satan, he needs a new asshole. Can we please find a donor? Someone with, for me, someone with something a lot tighter, a lot tighter of a fit.
It's been through the ringer.
This thing looks like an old broken towel dispenser. It's fucking awful. Oh my God. Now back to the Bohemian Grove. The club was started, it was a send-off club. And this is back in the 1870s. There was a stage actor by the name of Henry Edwards. He was going to New York City to continue his career. And back in old California, San Francisco, they decided to throw him a send-away party. There was drunkenness.
Yeah.
There were good times. They did a couple plays, which the plays...
Are they drunk doing the plays?
Yes.
That's the only way to see a play.
I know. Now, the plays have lasted to present day. There's a couple... just, you people wait. It gets fucking sticky. It gets really fucking sticky. Now, the club decided they were going to do these plays they were going to do these parties every summer now. They had so much fun fucking standing around, eating each other's assholes, that they were just going to do this thing every summer. It was going to be a joyous good time. Now, at that time, that property did not belong to the Bohemians, but in 1899, the Bohemian Club purchased the campgrounds. And gradually, over the next few decades, there were all kinds of different members. They purchased the land around the Bohemian Grove, and they turned it into the Bohemian Grove. I mean, it is what it is now.
Yep.
And not long after the club's establishment it was established by newspaper journalists. It was commandeered. I did not get his name. It was a prominent San Francisco businessman. And he provided the financial resources necessary to acquire further land. And that's when they started to kind of build facilities at the Grove as far as different solid structures as far as where people could stay and whatnot. However, they still retained the Bohemians name. So it's not much of a Bohemian club any longer, but they stuck with the Bohemian name as kind of their super secret name for their stupid fucking weird club. And they, even at that point, they continued to entertain international and different type of members and guests. Now, the sleeping quarters, because when you think about campgrounds and whatnot, have you ever been to camp before?
Yes.
We went to Camp Kern in fifth grade,
yep.
and there's different kind of housing quarters and whatnot.
Right.
And then I went to church camp because, Delicious Nicolicious handled the women at church camp. They'd say, "How would you like to go down the water slide with me?" And I said, "How would you feel about my fucking swimming trunks coming off halfway through and you landed on my dick at the bottom?" And then they would call their dad, and then I got criminally trespassed from Seneca Lake church camp because I was not into Jesus very much.
Those were the days.
Tell me about the good old days. I fucking hate country music so much. If you're a listener to the Ohio Podcast Show and you have a Luke Bryan CD in your car, I want you to take a hard fucking right now into that goddamn guardrail and leave us the fuck alone. Because Delicious Nicolicious hates country music very much. Unless it's old-timey country music. I'm okay with that.
Okay.
All right. Rob hates it too. That's why he's not saying anything.
Yeah, I really do.
What kind of beer are you drinking, Rob?
This is Dogfish Head Bitches Brew.
Wait a second. Say that again.
Dogfish Head. That's the company.
Okay, dude.
Or the brewery,
Whatever
I
the
should say.
fuck you into,
Yeah.
baby girl.
Wood Age Bitches Brew.
Yeah.
It's delicious.
All right. Now, the sleeping quarters, as we were talking about, or the camps, are scattered throughout the Grove, and it's reported that there are a total of 118 total different clubs.
That's a lot.
It is a lot for just a little campground there.
Yeah.
Now, the names of these clubs, they got a bunch of different names, but the most popular names that are said to be...
They're so classy names. I love it.
You got the Hillbillies.
Oh, look what they did.
Now, the Hillbillies, that is said to be the club that the Bushes belong to. This is a
Go figure.
Texas-based club.
Yeah.
And the thing about these clubs and different camp buildings, I guess.
Yeah.
They are clubs, but certain people belong to these clubs because of where they come from. So, like the Hillbillies are people from Texas. The Mandalay are kind of the upper crust, super elite, super rich. But there's the Mandalay Club, and the Mandalay Club is said to have a goddamn fucking cable car that goes back and forth all over the fucking campgrounds.
Nice.
Yeah. You have the Caveman Group, the Stowaway Group, the Uplifters, the Owl's Nest, a Hideaway, Isle of Aves, Lost Angels,
I like this one.
Silverado Squatters.
They take shits in the back of their truck.
Yeah. Hey, what are you doing after work today? I'm going to go outside and I'm going to crack me open a goddamn Mountain Dew. I'm going to climb up my tailgate and all them chili dogs I ate for lunch, I'm going to squat down and take my big old fucking dump right in the back of my truck. And I'm going to go to your mom's house and wreck in the fucking front yard. And when I wreck in the front yard, I'm going to sling fucking poop all over her house so your fucking stupid fucking dad has to come outside and spray poop off the house. My dad's dead. Well, yeah, that's why I'm going to fucking do it, because the poop's just going to fucking stay there, because everyone in your family's too fucking goddamn stupid to get the poop off your fucking mom's house.
Silverado Squatters, everybody.
The Sempervirens.
That's a stupid name.
Stupid. If you're in the Sempervirens, you're fucking stupid. Hillside and Idlewild. Now, the captains of the clubs, the captains of these houses, they're all kind of in charge of financially the upkeep, keeping shit tight. They have to hire contractors to come in and run cable or install urinals, whatever the fuck these weird fuckers do.
The Silverado Squatters are just like hijacking shit from everybody else.
Yeah. Hey man, look at the back of my truck.
Our cable's out. Can I go tap into yours, man?
Hey, go check out that bed liner I just got in the back of my truck. There's nothing but poop in the back of this truck. Yeah, I just got to take me a big old shit back there.
You like it? You like what you see?
My name's Bud. How you doing? Oh, man. It already went that direction. I'm so sorry.
We're sorry, Alex Jones.
And, And this place, that's the person that blew the top off the Bohemian Grove, the secrecy. What the fuck is going on there is none other than radio personality Alex Jones.
God bless him.
Oh, welcome, Patriots. This is the Alex Jones Show. This is InfoWars Prison Planet. This is not a recording. This is the Nicolicious impersonation of Alex Jones. We are under siege. They're trying to take our guns.
You ever listen to Alex Jones?
I love Alex Jones.
He's a fucking nut job, man.
I love him.
God, he's so far out there.
He is. He's so entertaining.
Yes, he is.
So entertaining.
And if you watch the interwebs, Alex Jones infiltrated the...
he blew the fucking lid off this.
So every summer, all of these rich, elite, white men congregate at the Bohemian Grove.
It's kind of the same as the Bilderberg
Yes,
organization.
similar. So
It's close.
they have over 2,000 people, different political figures, famous people, all these people. They come to this campground for 3 weekends during the summer, okay? And they all stay there and they take part in these weird fucking rituals. And we're going to get into all that. But Alex Jones went there one summer to see what was going on. He infiltrated, he got into the woods. There's video he took
Yeah, it's crazy.
of the cremation of character ceremony, which kicks off the Bohemian Grove Club.
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
Their stay. But he said that while he was hiding in the woods, eventually they kind of caught on to the fact that he was there. And he said that, so his synopsis is it's a giant fucking gay orgy.
Mhm,
And
right.
he's very convinced it's a gay orgy. Sign me the fuck up for that shit.
Man.
I would like a senator's balls in my back any fucking day because I'm getting paid that Skrilla afterwards.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to be taking some
You're getting
fucking
paid that hush money.
Yeah. Could you take that GoPro off your head before you fuck me, Nicolicious? No, man. I'm getting the fucking Andrew Jacksons after this shit. But Alex Jones, he infiltrated the woods. He got in. He said it's a giant fucking gay orgy. And he said all these people were catcalling. All these guys were catcalling him like, hey, nice fucking dick, man.
Nice dick.
Come over here and let us suck that dick. Come over here and let us suck that dick. I don't know. Man, he said that he was so fucking sickened by all these people calling him, like being gay and catcalling him and shit, that he had to fucking leave. He said, I'm done.
Good for him.
They snuck in. And I watch all these documentaries about people, like women walking down the street in New York City,
Yeah.
and people just walking up
Yeah.
and fucking grabbing their assholes and shit.
It's crazy.
I would fucking kill someone over some shit like that. So how does it feel, Alex Jones? Tell me how it feels to be fucking preyed upon like you're a piece of meat. Feel bad for my wife.
Mm-hmm.
So now they have the different central spaces for all of the recreation and entertainment that goes on during the Bohemian Grove gathering every year. I'll let you do these real quick.
Sure. Yeah, we got Grove Stage. Now, Grove Stage, this is an amphitheater. So this is got seating about right around 2,000, used primarily for the Grove play production on the last weekend of the midsummer encampment. So the stage extends up to the hillside and is also home to the second largest outdoor pipe organ in the world.
Hey, come over here, take a look at our pipe organ. This is where George he got fucked on top of this last year. Silly George.
We'll never forget. And then next you got Field Circle. So this is a bowl-shaped amphitheater. So they don't have any shortage of amphitheaters here. This is used for mid-encampments. This is the Low Jinks musical comedy for Spring Jinks.
Yes, there's two different plays they have. There's a Low Jinks and the Spring Jinks. These are the two productions they put on during the Bohemian Grove. One's a super serious, like upscale play, and the other one is just like a comedy that everyone's fucking off,
That's pretty cool.
being stupid.
And that one, Spring Jinks, is in early June, and a variety of different other performances. Then you got Campfire Circle. And this has a campfire pit in the center of the circle, surrounded by carved redwood log benches. That's pretty cool. That's where your camp counselor sits around and fiddles your diddle.
Yeah. And I saw you tossing and turning last night when you were asleep. Is it because maybe you wanted like someone a lot older than you to jerk you off before you fell asleep? I remember that's what my camp counselor said to me.
Same. And this one's used for smaller performances in a more intimate setting. You get to know your camp counselor there. And you got the museum stage, a semi-outdoor venue with a covered stage, does lectures and small ensemble performances. You got the dining circle, seats approximately 1,500 diners simultaneously.
I've seen this picture. There's just fucking picnic tables next to picnic tables, next to picnic tables, next to more picnic tables, and they can all sit down and have dinner. All these 2,000 fucking weirdos every night during this this retreat.
Sounds fun. I like it.
Oh yeah.
You got the clubhouse. This is designed by Bernard Maybeck. This is 1903. It's completed in 1904 on a bluff overlooking the Russian River. It's a multi-purpose dining, drinking, entertainment building. So it's a, all you can do establishment there.
Yeah.
It is the site of the Manhattan Project planning meeting, which is held in 1942.
We're gonna cover that later.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Deep.
And then you got the good old owl shrine and the lake. This is an artificial lake in the interior of the grove, which is used for the noontime concerts and also the venue of the cremation of care, which takes place on the first Saturday of the encampment and is also the location of the 12:30 p.m. daily lakeside talks.
Oh, that sounds kinky.
12:30 today, we're going to have a talk.
We're going to talk about how we shave our wieners, how we don't shave our wieners.
And these significant informal talks, many on public policy issues, have been given over the years by entertainers, professors, astronauts, business leaders, cabinet officers, CIA directors, future presidents, and former presidents. Fun stuff there.
Now, to touch on, you just talked about the owl. So, prepare yourselves. If you traditionally like to listen to us high, this is the fucking point where you get your goddamn doobie out. Take a big
drag.
Fucking drag on that thing, because
We're going down the hole.
the shit's starting.
We're going up the Nick hole.
Now, we're going to talk about the owl. There's a giant fucking 40-foot owl.
And this is very present on the Alex Jones video. This is the main thing he got the clip of, which we talked about.
You can see this owl. There's an artificial lake at the Grove, and they have an owl as the mascot for the Bohemian Club. The goddamn owl's 40 feet tall, Rob.
It's huge.
So this motherfucker decides to start flapping his wings and take off. We got a Godzilla situation on our hands. We're going to need Dwayne The Rock Johnson to climb up the side of a fucking building and swat this motherfucking thing down, okay?
Right.
I love owls. I think they're super cool.
I love them. They're awesome.
Yeah. Now the owl is a centerpiece for a very secretive ceremony called the cremation of care, which Rob talked about just a few moments ago.
Yeah.
There are rumors we say, of child sacrifice that we will touch on later, but the owl is said to be possibly symbolic of the ancient god Moloch. And the thing about Moloch was he was completely associated with child sacrifice. So he's from, thousands of years ago, and he was he was a massive bull with a human torso, and people would bring their children to him and offer them as sacrifices. And when you look at if you look at the pictures of artist renderings of the Moloch god, it kind of bears the same resemblance as a giant animal statue, the giant animal figure, which is kind of the same basis of what we're dealing with here at the Bohemian Grove. And people would give their kids to the god Moloch, and they would, part of a sacrifice to appease the gods. And there's a lot of rumors that go back to the 1980s about the Bohemian Grove actually sacrificing a child during the cremation of care. And why would people think that there was possibly a real child involved? Well, we'll touch on that in just a minute. But there's a lot of different similarities in the ceremony that they do here
With what they used to do
with what they did with
with Moloch.
Moloch god.
Yeah.
Right. Sorry, me and Rob got a lot of jism in our throats.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with me.
Now, why would they use an owl? Owls can see in the dark,
Right.
which, in the words of Johnny Cash, what's done in the dark will be brought to the light.
Oh,
Yeah, that's deep right there.
that's real deep.
So maybe these guys, that's kind of symbolic of what they think. They can see everything, because all these guys tie hand in hand with the New World Order, the Illuminati, which I'm not super interested in either one of those. I did take a trip down the research lane, learning about the Illuminati and the New World Order. Still, I'm not overly, I should say,
Sold?
intrigued by it.
Yeah, okay.
I don't think it's super interesting to me, but
Yeah.
whatever.
I'm the same.
Now, also what's symbolic about the owl is they can see what we cannot see, because they can spin their heads 180 degrees. So that's kind of symbolic of what these guys, they can see all the shit that us little men can't see. And that's what they refer to us as at the club. For many witnesses, is anyone that's not there, they refer to the outsiders as little men. Now, likewise, members of the Illuminati are privileged to information that is hidden from the general public. The demon goddess Lilith is represented throughout history as an owl as well. A study of Lilith will reveal the dark secrets behind the owl of Bohemian Grove.
Fascinating.
And you talked about us doing an episode on Lilith. She's got, I don't know if she's got enough shit to her for an entire episode.
She's crazy. Definitely look into her.
She wild now.
She's a bad bitch.
She wild bitch.
Bad
You know what I'm
bitch.
saying?
She makes demons.
It's some people that listen to Bro Hio, they don't like, when we say bitch, but she was a wild bitch. She wild now. Now, on to the cremation of care. The cremation of care, on the first night of this retreat, they all gather around the owl. And when I say the owl, when I say they all gather around the owl, all 2,000 of these fucking dickheads, these white old politicians and CEOs and actors, they all gather around the owl for the ceremony.
And this is the ceremony that Alex Jones caught.
This is the one he infiltrated the woods and he caught in motion. Right. All right. And if you watch the video, all of these guys, they dress in robes and hoods. Some of them wear masks and some of them wear paint on their faces. But nonetheless, they dress up as things or people that they are not. It, honest to God, looks like a fucking Ku Klux Klan rally.
Yeah.
From because the owl, not the owl, I'm sorry. There's a lot of fire involved.
Yeah, tons.
Now, as the ceremony goes, the cremation of care across the lake, so the owl oversets a huge man-made lake. Across the lake, there is a boat that approaches with an effigy in the boat. And if you don't know what an effigy is, it's like a mannequin. It's just someone builds a dummy to look like a human being, which is completely fucking weird for this. And I did do the research. It's pronounced effigy.
Yeah, it's definitely effigy.
I wanted to call it a figgy.
I could have corrected you on this one, though.
See how many people would write us. Now, like I said, it's a sculpture or a model of a human being.
It's an effigy.
Yes, it's an effigy. The high priest, who he's the captain of the ceremonies, he receives the human effigy from the ferryman.
You wanted to say effigy?
Effigy, I do. Effigy. He receives the effigy from the ferryman, who's the guy that drives the fucking boat. He places the body at the foot of the shrine, which is the owl, and he sets the body on fire. Throughout the ritual, an ominous voice booms from the speakers on the owl. It's said that the voice used is longtime member Walter Cronkite, who's got a very distinct voice in the world of American broadcasting.
He's got that broadcast voice.
He does. You can check him out. Now, this is kind of fucking information you don't really need or care about, but the speakers are disguised as ancient rocks. So thank God we conveyed that to our listeners.
We only bring the facts forward.
To add to the dramatic climax of the cremation of care, there's a lot of fireworks, a lot of fire. The ritual they are conducting serves to be symbolically, they're cremating the worldly and, quote, dull cares of conscience to ensure the success of the club's midsummer's meeting. Now, with that being said, what they are doing is they're trying to cast away all of the stuff that would bother them from the real world. So the cremation of care, this is what they do to prepare themselves for the entire retreat. So they have the ceremony, and this is symbolic of them letting all of their worldly cares that would normally weigh them down, they're just fucking burning them away so they can have a fucking awesome weekend of partying and fucking little kids. Yes, we're going to get into that later.
Mm-hmm.
They can cast away all the shit that's bothered them so they can just be there.
Cast out that apprentice that they fucked last weekend behind their wife's back.
Yes. Now, why would it, and I don't have an answer for this, Rob, why do you think they would use a fake body?
They're too close to they're too close to the kids that they keep there.
Oh man.
We did say there was a god of human sacrifice or child sacrifice.
Yeah. Now I said that they refer to you're a fucking horrible human being. Said they call everyone, the members of the Bohemian Club, they call all of us little men, so that the people that aren't there are little men. It is exceptionally troubling to me that there would even be a need to have a fake body when you could use a fucking, I don't know. There's so much shit you can burn in the fucking woods that isn't a body. I don't know. Wood? Fucking leaves?
A log?
A shoe? Not a goddamn body. All the they're all rich. Just burn some fucking piles of cash
Might as well.
or send it my way.
Hey,
Whatever you want to do. Now, there's a quote we have lots of quotes from people that either have worked at the Bohemian Grove or have known people that work there or live close by. And this is a quote. It says, you're inside the Bohemian Grove when you come down a trail in the woods and hear piano music from amid a group of tents and then round a bend to see a man with a beer in one hand and his penis in the other urinating into the bushes. So, Rob, it's just a pee club. Have you ever been a part of a pee club?
I have not.
That's where one guy kneels down right in the middle, and then about 6 other guys get their big old peckers out, and they just fucking pee on his face. It's just a big giant pee club.
I'm interested in the piano music.
What music do you think will be played while you're getting your face pissed on?
Beepity beepity beam.
I think it would be a Meatloaf song.
Making my way downtown. No, I think that's what it is.
I would do anything for pee. I'll run right through the hell and back for some pee.
That might be it.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what he won't do for love.
Yeah. But I won't do that. Now, they play a large-scale musical theater production that's written and composed by the club members. This musical theatrical production involves some 300 people, including a chorus, a cast, a stage crew, and an orchestra, and it said it costs between $200,000 to put on this play during the Bohemian Grove summer retreat. And like I said before, I think it's like 16 or 19 days, but it's 3 weekends.
That's not that bad.
What do you mean?
200,000
for a fucking play in a campground, Rob?
Well, if it's 3 weeks long.
Think that this is one play at a campsite. I will stand on top of a wooden log and play my guitar for $200,000, and it'll be twice as good as this fucking shit stain thing they're trying to do.
Kids aren't cheap these days.
You are exactly right about that. And a lot of and when I say the chorus and the stage crew and the cast, this is all people that are part of the Bohemian Grove, so they just fucking get off on each other, getting on the stage and making these stupid plays. And there are no women involved, Rob, because women are not allowed at the Bohemian Grove.
It's just a bunch of fucking alphas.
It is a bunch of alpha,
white
elitists is what
elite.
Exactly. And there's one interview I came across with a female who, I guess it's a big, just like around here, we have Kings Island.
Yeah.
It's a big to-do to go work there during the summer. They need a lot of seasonal help. It's the same at the Bohemian Grove. They need a lot of seasonal help to come run this, the retreat. There's a lot of people needed for maintenance, for cooking and cleaning, all types of different things. In the interview I read, she said that there's a red, distinct line drawn throughout the campgrounds that women are not allowed to go past.
Wow.
Yes, they're very dead set that no women go past the red line, and women are used for jobs such as cooking.
Oh, jeez.
Yes, very. But there was a lawsuit filed in 1970. I think it's 1972. I don't have it written down. There was a lawsuit filed. It was they won the lawsuit that there was discriminatory hiring practices going on at the Bohemian Grove. We're not going to talk. Well, we will talk about it, but they bust fucking prostitutes in from out of town to a nearby hotel and for these guys. But the women that are hired as seasonal help, there's certain jobs they're not allowed to have on the Grove. They're not allowed to partake in maintenance. They're not allowed to partake in anything that involves them being actually in.
So something that'll give them access to that area.
Yeah, nothing. Yeah, they can't be part of in the epicenter of the actual retreat itself.
Gotcha.
Because they don't want to see a bunch of fucking George Bushes walking around pissing on stuff.
Naked, yeah, pissing everywhere.
To go along with the Bushes, there's Jeb Bush, and this person that was interviewed said Jeb Bush was there for they have the giant, the feast every night. There's a giant meal every night. And Jeb Bush, before 8 o'clock, he went up to one of the waitresses and he says, "I would really like a milkshake." And she said, "Well, I'm sorry. No one can have fucking milkshakes before 8 o'clock. And Jeb says, "Let me talk to your manager." So they go and get the manager. The manager comes back and says, "Jeb, you can't have a fucking milkshake before 8 o'clock. And Jeb said, "Do you know who I am?" And she said, yes, I do, Mr. Bush. And that does not change the fucking milkshake rule. So Jeb Bush fucking sat there with his arms crossed and threw a fucking temper tantrum.
Old Jeb.
Because he couldn't have a milkshake before 8 o'clock at the Bohemian Grove. And when I think about Jeb Bush, I picture him being betrayed by Will Ferrell and it just, sitting there with his fucking pouty lips and his arms crossed.
Yeah.
So that's the milkshake story. Now, you're probably wondering what type of people belong to the Bohemian Grove Club.
Yeah, we've already kind of said elites, things like that, but we got a little list.
Yeah, shoot it. Shoot it out.
Sure. We got presidents. So this would include Nixon, Eisenhower, Roosevelt. We've already mentioned the Bushes, both Bushes, Hoover, Ford, and Reagan. Then you got Colin Powell.
Colin is what you shit out of.
No, it's Colin. You got Dick Cheney. Good selection of White House chiefs of staff, senators, secretaries of state, secretaries of defense, army generals, and so on. You got Henry Kissinger. He was a member. You got the Rockefeller family, which is always present. And even Johnny DuPont. He was the crazed American heir who famously murdered Olympic gold medal winning wrestler Dave Schultz. Went to the elite summer camp. So you'll also have, getting a little more creative here, you got Clint Eastwood, Mark Twain, Bing Crosby, Merv Griffin, and Charlton Heston. They all became members of the Bohemian Club as well. Initiation fees, in case you're wondering, start at right around $25,000.
Not too shabby.
Yeah, and then you got your hefty yearly dues as well. So
and
good
yes,
times.
The first name we said was old Tricky Dick Nixon.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're wondering,
his quote, are you about to say that?
no, I'm going to play it.
Oh, okay, okay, good.
And Rob and I don't condone what Richard Nixon says.
No,
not at all. He was a fucking foul human being, and I don't know how he was ever elected president.
He was a United States president, and think of him saying
yes,
this.
And he thought this place was very faggy, and we're going to play that right now.
Is that way. The Bohemian Grove that I attend, on time to time, the Easterners and the others that come there, but it is the most faggy goddamn thing you will ever imagine in San Francisco crowd because it's just terrible. I mean, I have to shake hands with everybody in San Francisco.
So he said, there's a Bohemian Grove thing I attend from time to time. It is the biggest bunch of faggy goddamn. And he goes on to say that he won't even shake hands with someone from San Francisco. And
that's so wrong.
That's fucking horrible. But you want to know my funny story about San Francisco?
Yeah.
And I've told you this before.
Yeah.
The summer after my senior year, me and a friend went to a bunch of baseball parks after we graduated.
Yeah, right.
And we went to San Francisco. And my thing was at all these baseball parks, I would go to the urinal to take a piss.
Right.
And I would completely drop trowel and underwear all the way to my ankles.
Yeah.
To where, I look like a 4-year-old taking a piss right there.
Right.
And in San Francisco, at AT&T Stadium, AT&T Park, I unbuckled my pants, took my jeans and my underwear all the way to my ankles like I normally do, and I'm standing there bare assed at the urinal, just delicious. And the guy next to me in the urinal looks over and says, "I wouldn't do that here." And I was like, "Oh fuck!" And I pulled my pants up and I fucking pissed all over myself.
You just remembered where you were at.
Pissed all over my knickers. I fucking tightened my shit up. I ran the fuck out of there, still spraying piss all over the place. And I regrouped and I said, I am 100% certain that man wanted to share a fucking urinal with me and possibly share anal sex later on that night, which I did do it, but I didn't hate it. Wasn't as bad as I thought it would be.
So just for the record, yeah, we are not homophobic.
We are not absolutely homophobic. We love all God's children. I think love is a beautiful thing. I have gay friends. I have straight friends. I have hateful friends.
I knew a gay guy once. No, it's not one of those things.
No, not at all. But Tricky Dick Nixon, he thought the Bohemian Grove was the most faggy goddamn place in the entire world. Tricky Dick. Now we're moving on to the... Real quickly, we want to touch on a child murder in 1984. Just a child murder in 1984.
Yeah, what can you do?
It's nothing. We're going to breeze past it. And we're going to have another clip coming for you here in just a second. There was a man named Paul Bonacci who said he watched a snuff film. And if you're not familiar with the snuff film, you just go to like...
what are you doing with your life?
Orgish or documentingreality.com, rotten.com. It's people getting fucking killed, chopped up, all kinds of weird stuff like that. But he testified that he watched a snuff film of an actual child being burned with a surround of large redwood trees. Now, Paul Bonacci was a huge player in the Franklin cover-up. This was from a 1988 investigation. This is completely different, but Paul Bonacci was involved in it was a 1988 investigation into high-ranking Nebraska politicians that were mutilating, sacrificing, cannibalizing numerous small children as part of satanic rituals. There was a fucking huge government investigation into this thing, and you guys can look this up. It's called the Franklin cover-up. No one was convicted, but this Paul Bonacci guy testified he was born into this sex slave trade, as far as being shipped around to politicians and famous people, and they used him for sex as a teenage boy. He was used at the Bohemian Grove as like a server type busboy, and the consensus was these kids that would bus tables and serve food, there were certain ones that were available to the participants of the Bohemian Grove, so they could sit there and eat all night, and they could keep an eye on the kids they wanted to fuck after the night was over. So Paul Bonacci was one of these kids that would serve, do various roles, and he was one of the ones that his ass was available at the end of the night to be fucked. Whew. So he testified about the Franklin cover-up and about this huge investigation in Nebraska where all these politicians, there's a huge fucking shadow cast over all these people. That kind of fell through. But in the fall of 1992, Paul Bonacci was shown a black and white photo of a moss-covered owl at the Grove, and he very quickly identified it as the site of the July 1984 snuff film. It was something he described in a book, but he said this was the site where he said this is where he saw the kid being burned for the sacrifice, like the live child being burned for the sacrifice, the cremation of care. Although his testimony has been available to law enforcement officials since mid-October 1992, no official investigation has been made. He went on to tell, I don't know how I found this video and how it's not more prominent, but there is a video with only about 1,000 views on YouTube of where Paul Bonacci is being interviewed by a private investigator. Mm-hmm. And he goes through this long 10-minute spiel about all these different things, but then he testifies about George Bush Sr. I think it's HW or H. I can't remember. Yeah. But the elder George Bush, and he explains a situation where he was hiding in the kitchen in a closet, and he observed George Bush Sr. partake in some rather scandalous things. And let's play that for you guys right now. This is Paul Bonacci's testimony to the private investigator.
I've been to parties, but I've never seen anything. But I've seen some parties down in Washington. I've seen President Bush there, which I'd rather not talk about here.
What year was that? Was he president or vice
president? That's when he was still vice president. And I've never met him as president because he became president in '88, and I never went around him after that.
You saw him at how many of these parties?
I seen him at about 3 or 4 parties. And at every one of the parties, you had a little ID card that you had to have, and they had a little scanner thing. And when you went in, they run it across this thing to get in there and stuff. They had special agents everywhere, Secret Service men everywhere and stuff. And I fell off the balcony of the place. They had a little window and stuff, and I was sitting on there, and I fell off. Didn't get hurt, I got up, but I dropped my car, and I had Secret Servicemen with about 500 guns pointing, about 20 guns pointing at my head when I tried to go back in. Until our team came over and straightened it out and said he belongs in here. And, that was kind of a spooky thing when you have all those guns pointing in your face and you're only about 15, 16 years old. But the reason was because the vice president was there, so they had to have all the Secret Service. But I also seen that some of them, I seen people like Maureen Reagan, which is, I believe, President Reagan's daughter.
What did Vice President Bush hang around after the party was over, or what?
He was after the party a couple times, and we were hiding in the closet, but I didn't.
Seems
I
hiding in
didn't
the
meet nothing
closet.
with him. He was with a black kid, and he was with a white kid.
What do you mean with a white kid and a black kid?
Well, there was one.
Tell me about the time when you were in the closet.
Well, me and this other kid, we were.
Who's the other kid?
I can't even remember right now. He was from the Washington, D.C. area. So he wasn't from around here, but we were just sitting in the closet talking, just kind of trying to mind our own business. We were staying away from the rest of the party. We were in a back room in the bedroom.
Was this after the formal party was over?
Well, it was kind of during the formal party, but it was after a lot of people had already started leaving and stuff. And we remember that a couple of Secret Servicemen came in. One went to the window and looked around outside the window and stuff. The other one came in and looked in the closet and thought he'd seen us.
Was it
He had a
dark?
flashlight. The lights were off. He didn't even bother turning on the lights. Coming in with a flashlight. Looked in the closet. You know, I guess he didn't really look around it because me and him were sitting on the floor right below him. He kind of looked like this. He didn't even look down. Kind of looked like that and stuff. Turned around, walked out of the room and stuff, and then we seen this other guy come in and stuff, and I didn't recognize him at first.
Was the closet door open or closed?
It was partially open,
Okay.
so we could see out there and stuff. And it's like the two people I knew as Webb. There's two kids I knew as Webb and stuff. One of them was from Washington area. Here's a white kid. The other one was a black kid. I seen it 2 different times.
Two different webs. One was a white, one was a black kid.
Yeah.
Okay.
One was from Omaha or somewhere out here.
Was the white kid or the black kid from Omaha?
The black kid.
Okay.
He's one that was from this area. And I seen at the time Vice President Bush go in, and all he did was the kids performed oral sex on him. That was it.
Kids what?
Performed oral sex on him. And
The kid performed oral. Which of the black kid or the white kid?
Got his dick sucked.
Well, first I seen him at 2 different times. First with the white kid, then with
When
the
you were in
black
the closet.
kid. Yeah, we were in the closet both times.
Oh, were you?
That was our normal hideout. Me, him, and other kids and stuff. That's where we hid out at. We go in the closet and stuff when we want to get away from the party.
So you were in that closet twice when Vice President Bush came in?
And I was in the closet more than twice, isn't it?
I mean, when Vice
times.
President Bush came in. 2 separate parties. Once with a white kid and once with a black kid? Is that right? So you saw him twice.
Yeah.
And the kid had to perform oral sex on him? And what happened after they finished?
And he just got up and kind of left, and
Ooh, man.
Heavy shit, man.
Yeah.
Hey,
Got a good old sloppy one.
I'm gonna drop my trousers real quick, and I'm gonna show you why they call me George Bush. It's 'cause it looks like I got a pack of about 6 ducklings sitting on top of my dick right here. I gotta keep it nice and fuzzy. Barbara, she likes to grab a handful of my pubes and yank them out, and then she likes to lick the bald spots there right above my pecker. And they call me Bush because I got a really hairy nutsack. Keep it real bushy down here right above my dick. So, and if you missed, that's kind of a hard audio to hear.
Mm-hmm.
But this kid says, Paul Bonacci said he was hiding in the closet. George Bush comes, Secret Service sweeps the area, doesn't see him and his buddy in the closet. George Bush Sr. comes in and gets his dick sucked by a white kid on one occasion. This is after the party. Second occasion, George Bush Sr. comes in with a black kid and gets his dick sucked by the black kid. So, where do we go from here, Rob? I have no idea.
I don't know either.
It's so this Paul Bonacci guy, he kind of just went away. He is still alive. He did not answer my Facebook message, but he is still alive. The Franklin cover-up is definitely something I would check into if you were a listener of our show. But that's a first-hand eyewitness statement that he observed George Sr.
That's some dark shit.
receiving oral sex from a 15 or 16-year-old boy.
2 of them.
2 of them. He come back for that good. He said, this is the best. This is the best blowjob I ever had. I'm coming back for more.
That's awful.
Where's that skinny white kid from last weekend? I want him. Oh, look at him. He looks nice. I'll take him. That'll work. Now, there's certain things that they say are not supposed to be done. They have groups and bylaws, the Bohemian Grove. And one of those things is you cannot talk about shit from the outside world, but a lot of things here are passed around, talked about underneath the table. So this is kind of where Reagan they decided that Bush was going to run for president after Reagan. This is where they decided that Reagan was going to run for president. But also, in September of 1942, Ernest Lawrence, J. Robert Oppenheimer, and the S1 Committee, which became the Manhattan Project, met at Bohemian Grove to strategize about building an atomic bomb. Even back then, only members and approved guests were allowed to use the compound. Lawrence, whose work on separating uranium isotopes was essential to the project, was a member of the Bohemian Club, which is how the group gained entrance. You have to know somebody to get in. You don't just fucking sign up and get in. You have to know somebody or be part of the family tree of someone that's been in the Bohemian Grove for a long time. Now, the Bohemian Grove's motto, this is very fucking weird and dark to me. It says their motto is "Weaving spiders come not here," meaning talk of business is discouraged during the 2-week retreat. Apparently, however, according to Dirk Matheson, a reporter from People who snuck inside the camp in 1991, there are speeches galore. So the Manhattan, that was essentially the beginning of the end of World War II. This is where they decided they were going to make the atomic bombs to blow up Hiroshima and Nagasaki. And one of their bylaws is you can't talk about outside shit in this place, but the plans were hatched for the Manhattan Project, which is super. There's a lot the U.S. public still doesn't know about the Manhattan Project. I think the Manhattan Project, in my personal opinion, and all my weird research, I think the Manhattan Project is a spin-off, something possibly bigger, or something they were trying to work on that they weren't necessarily trying to work on, and they just kind of discovered what they did discover, that they were able to produce the atomic bomb. But I think it was part of something. I think it is still part of something larger, whether that be time travel or wormholes, the freezing time, whatever it is. I think they were trying to work on something else. That's just my gut feeling, because you just don't say, I want to go to the lab and make a fucking bomb to end the world.
Right.
I think there was something else going on there.
Yeah.
Now we're going to circle back here to the Alex Jones thing about him infiltrating the property. He did do an interview with a politician that was at the Bohemian Grove. He caught this politician on the sidewalk in New York or Washington, D.C. And this is back when Alex Jones was first starting out. He starts asking this politician, regular questions. But then he starts asking this politician about Bohemian Grove. And this fucking guy, this politician, gets so defensive and angry. He's completely political for you. Like, oh, yes, yeah, that sounds great, yes. And then Alex Jones starts grilling him about Bohemian Grove, and he turns into this fucking like evil, conniving shit fuck. He's like, I don't respect you for what you're doing.
Just super defensive, and obviously jumping to try to defend himself.
Yes.
Yeah.
Have you heard it?
No, but I know what you're. I know what you're saying.
We're gonna play it right now for you. All right, and to set this up a little more, this is David Gergen. He was an administrator. He was an advisor, and he worked during the administrations of Richard Nixon, Gerald Ford, Ronald Reagan, and Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton was asked about the Bohemian Grove one time, and he said something along the lines of, I'm not going to be out there in the woods running around naked like them fucking yahoos. So, and he was kind of speaking about David Gergen specifically, and Alex Jones corners Gergen on the sidewalk, and this is the response he gets from David Gergen when he asks him about the Bohemian Grove.
I don't know what quote you're referring to. I'm not aware of any quote like that. Listen, I am a happy member of the Bohemian Grove. I like the folks who come there, and it's really inappropriate for me to talk about the group beyond that. Thank you.
Have you been there for the ceremony with the cremation of care?
Frankly, I don't think that's something I need to talk to you about.
Really?
That's right.
Well, I'm Alex Jones, and I snuck in there in 2000. I'm the guy that blew it wide open and got the video. It's been on national TV.
Well, I disrespect you for that.
You do?
I do.
But it's a lot of big public officials going in there. Don't we deserve to know?
You took I don't know anything about you, and I don't know anything about your film. But if you go in there with an understanding, you violated that understanding by releasing that film, and I don't respect you for that.
Really? But we have public officials.
I'm sorry. You took an understanding when you went in there that you would not do that film, and did you have an understanding when you went in there?
No.
Did you crash it?
Yes.
Yeah, and it has no trespassing signs there too, doesn't it?
No, they put them up after.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I just walked in.
I'm sorry, sir. I've been there before. I know what the circumstances are, and I'm sorry you violated the understandings. That was not a gentlemanly thing to do.
But what about the ritual? Is the ritual gentlemanly?
Sir, everything I don't owe you this comment.
I know. I appreciate it.
This is what's called ambush journalism, and I disrespect you for that as well. So thank you and goodbye.
In the ritual?
That's none of your damn business.
Oh.
Right. Listen. You go around and make understandings with people and violate them. You ambush people on the streets when that's inappropriate form of journalism. If you wish to practice that, that's fine, but don't ask others to respect you for it. If you want to, you can do. You're a free American, like anything you want. If you want to be uncivil and rude and ungentlemanly, that's up to you. But don't expect the rest of us to say, "Oh well, you're
there, Mr. Gergen."
I'm sorry, nobody sets policy in there. We try to be gentlemen, and obviously, you don't belong there.
Weaving spiders come out here. Yeah, that is a 3-pointer. Woo!
Yeah. So
That's some good shit.
tell me that.
Good job.
Tell me that fucking guy doesn't sound a little bit like there might be some underhanded shit going on.
Good job, Alex Jones.
Good job.
You
Fire
fucked
the
him up.
Patriot. I'm Alex Jones. This is the rebellion. We are setting out to save patriots across. And if you are listening, we're going to try and sell you some an incredible vitamin.
You ever listen to this show and hear all that fucking weird shit he tries to sell?
Yeah, I love it.
Oh,
I just love how he would ask him questions and then he would laugh afterwards because he knew he fucked that guy up.
Yeah. I disrespect you for that.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Now, we're going to speak in reference to the sex workers real quick. It's said that they do hire prostitutes, both male and female. And this is an entry that we read online. And this person says, I had one as a client when I was a therapist years ago. This is speaking about the sex workers from the Bohemian Grove. Also, I have met the owner of Northwoods Inn, which is where the guys go each evening after the festivities to get a prostitute. The owner actually acts as a madam, hiring some of the prostitutes and allowing them to hang out at the inn's restaurant. The local police, by the way, fully know about this and turn a blind eye. I know this for a fact because I was at a meeting with the police and the inn's owner. Also, lots of drugs are used, especially ecstasy, and she got this information directly from a guy that worked there who saw everything himself. To go deeper down the wormhole, Rob, there's another newspaper article from an observer and a victim. This person submitted their accounts of what happened at the Bohemian Grove. It says, as an observer and near victim has described the Bohemian Grove inner hideaway. So they said there's some underground workings there, just like any secret government facility. The closed sanctum, even the decor at secret locations, places where no outsider goes, or servants, according to our sources. Apparently, there's an underground lounge. The sign is spelled UN underground, like underground, or UN, United Nations type thing. UN underground, a dark room, and there's a leather room and a necrophilia room.
Oh, God.
Oh, yeah.
I'll stay away from that one.
Yeah, give me some of that.
You had me at leather room, you lost me at necrophilia room.
Give me some of that cold shit. I want that cold cut, baby.
Maybe that's where the cold as a witch's titty came from.
Oh, Jesus. Also, he reported slaves of advancing age or with failed programming were sacrificially murdered at random in the wooded grounds of Bohemian Grove. There's a lot of reports of murders and police going to investigate murders there, and nothing happens. This person goes on to also say, and I felt it was only a matter of time until it would be me. This potential victim survived. Others reportedly did not. These cults were based on human sacrifice. USA ritual abuse victim David Schurter and I were trafficked to the Bohemian Grove as children. There, I was dressed as a teddy bear
Oh God.
and made to participate in pedophile hunts amidst the redwood forest. And
Oh
I
my
was
gosh.
drugged and raped by Reverend Billy Graham in a pink bubble-themed cabin. I was referred to the Bohemian Grove by another of my perpetrators, President Richard Nixon. So this guy went to the Bohemian Grove, like some human hunting games.
So you just set him loose, give him so much of a head start, and then go after him and chase him.
Yeah. And he says that he was raped and sexually abused by the Reverend Billy Graham.
Jeez.
But they did give him the dignity of letting him wear a fucking teddy bear costume.
That's crazy.
Have you ever seen on Pornhub the dancing bear that dances around?
Yeah.
Ah, what a lucky guy. You know? He just dances around the club with
Just
a bear
goes
head.
to parties and dances.
And he doesn't have to show his face.
No, just gets his wiener sucked.
Yeah. A huge wiener, might I add.
Yeah, a big bear wiener.
And again, if
Good
you're
for
swinging
him.
one like that, you don't need a mask.
Hey, nah.
Little guy like me, I'm going to wear a mask. What do you look like? It doesn't matter what I look like under here. I'm not going to do any damage with this thing. We both know that. You know that. Put it in your mouth. I hate to fucking... So, another one of these super hidden websites that I found. There's some accounts from two ladies.
Excuse me.
One is Bryce Taylor. She's the author of Thanks for the Memories, which was written in 1999. And Kathy O'Brien. She's the author of Transformation of America from 1995. In these books, O'Brien goes on to say, and when I say slaves, there's a lot of accounts. These people are products of the MK Ultra project, and these people are conditioned by trauma, like we've talked before, just like we talked about in Disney.
Yeah.
There's conditioning by trauma. We got 9/11, all these school shootings. It's still happening present day, where our brains are being conditioned to certain things using dramatic and traumatic incidents. And that's kind of, these people were failed projects of MK Ultra. They're fucking broken. They can't be used for what they need to be used for. So they're just kind of flipped into sex workers, and they're sexually assaulted until their lives are essentially over with. In her book, she says slaves of advancing age or with failing programming were ritualistically murdered at random in the wooded grounds of Bohemian Grove. There was a room of shackles and tortures, an opium den, ritualistic sex altars, group orgy rooms. She says that I was used as a rag doll in the toy store and as a urinal in the Golden Arches room.
The Golden Arches room. That's the McDonald's room.
Can I get, I want to do 2 McDoubles.
And I want to piss on a little girl.
A Diet Coke, because I don't... What the fuck is that guy doing over there? Are you...
Can I get one of those to go, please?
I do not want that in my cup. Tell him to point that somewhere else. And O'Brien, this is so fucked up, man. Fucking turn us off right now, or keep listening if you want. O'Brien says that her father prostituted her as a child to his friends, business associates, and politicians as a favor. He would also pimp her out for money. She also appeared in numerous child pornography and bestiality films. And the writer of this article I found also says, once you read this book, you will understand who JonBenet Ramsey was and why there was no resolution to her murder. Now, this O'Brien character, she said she was conditioned to be a sex worker from birth. She goes on to say that
That's horrible.
part of the things that they would do to her is they would remove her baby bottle from her mouth, and her father would insert his penis into her mouth as a way to condition her for these sexcapades and this sexual ritualistic abuse and whatnot.
Do we know anything about the father?
I did not do any research
what he did?
into the father.
Okay.
I certainly did not, but that is something we could possibly
Figure
do
out.
a quick Google search with a pause.
Yeah.
All right, so the quick Google search. Earl O'Brien was Kathy O'Brien's father, And Kathy was the one whom wrote the books and spoke to. She was a testament to all the sexual abuse going on at the Bohemian Grove. She says one of her first memories being on this earth is being unable to breathe because her father was engaging in oral sex with her. Her father, Earl, was a heavy hitter in the Michigan mafia, and he sold her to the government at an early age as part of the MK Ultra experiment.
It always circles back to MK Ultra.
It does. I can't wait for that episode.
I know, it's gonna be great.
But he sold her, and he had apparently all of his connections and whatnot stemmed from his involvement in the Michigan mafia.
Okay.
So that's his tie-in. He was doing all kinds of favors, but she goes on to say that she was involved in sexual escapades with, George Bush Sr., George Bush Jr., all of the heavy hitters that are part of the story here. So I'm just completely fucking lost at this point. They're so far down the fucking wormhole. She was rescued by a gentleman named Mark Phillips. He also rescued Kathy and her then 8-year-old daughter Kelly, and he used methods gained in mind sciences. He taught Kathy how to remember what she'd been programmed to forget and reclaim control over her own mind and life. And she talks about all that in her book, but she said she was involved in systematic torture and well-documented NASA and military mind control programming. And she was forced to do stuff with the CIA Black Ops and White House Pentagon level operations during the Reagan and Bush administration. Her father was very close with Michigan politician Gerald Ford, and Kathy was kind of one of his favorite people to go to as far as sex. That kind of made its rounds with how prominent he became. So people sought after her for sex because they knew that with how high he'd risen in the politics, that sexual encounters with her probably would not get their name out there and show them as being involved in something like that.
Okay.
So she was sexually victimized by several people after Ford, but it was never made it to headlines. And that was kind of why she was everyone's favorite, because they knew they could do it and get away with it, essentially. I would recommend checking that book out. That's probably a book that I will probably read in time. But as far as the Bohemian Grove, that's all I have.
Oh, man.
That's a fucking...
It takes a dark turn.
It's a whirlwind right there, buddy. This is all goes back to a club in the woods that no one's allowed to be a part of, that involves all of the people that make all of the important decisions for our country.
Burning Pinocchio and fucking kids.
Yeah. I'm a real boy. But guess who's not part of that club? Donald motherfucking Trump. He's got enough money to start his own fucking club. I haven't got a fucking clue what's going on here, Rob.
I don't know either. This train's derailed.
Yeah. I think our next episode is going to be a Patreon-sponsored episode by Aaron Griffiths.
Thank you, because that gives us an idea of what we get to look forward to next,
Yes,
instead of waiting until Thursday to figure it out.
Yeah. And like I said before, if you do give us a review on iTunes, a 5-star, send us a screenshot of the review. We'll mail you some 2 of our newest stickers, which I'm sure you would love to have.
They're beautiful.
You would love it so much.
And now that we actually have them, we can actually send them out.
Right. So thanks for listening, guys.
We love you.
Sorry, this is a fucking weird story, man. I'm sorry. This is so weird and nasty.
It's very nasty. It's dirty.
So thanks for listening, guys.
Thanks, guys. We love you.
I'm the delicious Nicolicious.
I am the dog that is Rob.
We love you.
Bye.